Let's try that again. All right. I'm Tony. This is LaRonda.
Hello.
We've got Katie and Annabella around here in the floor. And if you prefer them, we'll put them up here and we'll get in the floor. How about that? And so I'm going to turn it over to LaRonda. She's got one of Omi's songs that Omi wrote years ago. That's her mother. And so here is LaRonda.
Thank you. Now I'm going to be reading this one because I don't know the
It's
tune
almost
to
already
it.
set up for you.
Thank you. I will help you. Written 10:3 of 91. As I toil down here below, sometimes my steps get slow. Then I bow down on my knees and start to pray. I ask my Lord to see me through. Then He tells me what to do. Listen, my child, I will help you. I will help you. Yes, I will. I will help you. Every step you take, every promise that you break, just call on me and I will help you. Isn't that just like Jesus? As I awake in early morn, I wonder where the night has gone. Then I thank God for all the blessings that He gives. As I look up to the sky, I remember His reply. I will help you, my child. I will help you. That was, Mom said, inspired by the Holy Spirit, written by Oma Shepherd. That was a short song, but it's
And typed by LaRonda.
typed by me. Yes. Mom writes them, I type them. Dad writes them out after Mom.
Yeah. Because nobody can read Mom's writing.
Well, I can.
Is she left-handed like me?
Nope. She had actually really pretty handwriting.
Oh, she did?
Mm-hmm.
Well, then why can't you read her handwriting?
I can. Dad couldn't. Dad just like, woo,
Oh,
it's,
my
it's
goodness.
Leaning Tower of Pisa.
I know. The stand is driving me nuts. We need I guess I'm going to have to get a new stand here.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Sorry.
It's the best I can do for
Leaning
Tower of Pisa.
Leaning, safe and secure from all alarms on Jesus. Leaning. I always sing Tony's bass part when he's not paying attention.
Yes, something like that. My glasses. We are still in choice theory, as opposed to control theory or critical race theory. It's choice theory. You have a choice. But the other ones, you don't have a choice. And so we are in chapter 6, conflict and reality therapy. Conflict and reality therapy. You know, some people don't live in reality, right?
Right.
To say
It's
the
more
least.
fun. It's more fun not to live in reality.
For them.
For them.
For the rest of us, it's a nightmare. What are you talking about?
I'm kidding. Okay.
You don't remember doing that?
Yes.
Oh, you had it. Yeah, okay. Anyway, so number 1, there is no need to probe at length for the problem. It's probably going to present itself. You're probably going to figure out what the problem is right away. Number 2, I have highlighted. For example, if a client, well, let me read the statement first. Since the problem is always in the present, there is no need to make a long, intensive investigation into the client's past. For example, if a client never learned to trust people because he was abused as a child, it would be impossible for him to have a satisfying present relationship. The past is over. He cannot change what he or anyone else did. All he can do now is, with my help as a counselor, build a more effective present. I have another book up there. It's Why Am I Still Crazy? Yeah, it's right there. Why Am I Still Depressed? That's what it is. It's another book that's written to, these are kind of, you can, to help you aid your psychiatrist whenever you go see them. Number 3, in traditional counseling, you may never counsel anybody, but you can help a counselor counsel you by reading them your book. I had one counselor take my book, though, and never give it back to me. So. Yeah.
Which one, this one?
No, it was Women Who Love Too Much.
Oh, okay.
I started quoting out of it, and they didn't like that. But anyway.
Oh.
The traditional counseling, number 3,
down, okay.
in traditional counseling, a lot of times, a lot of time is spent both inquiring into and listening to clients complain about their symptoms. the actions of other people, the world they live in, and on and on. The list is endless. The more they are encouraged or allowed to do so, the more important the complaints about the become, and the harder it is to get to the real problem, what the client is choosing to do now. Choice theory does not deny that clients have legitimate complaints, but it teaches that the only person we can control are ourselves. The only person we can control are ourselves.
Yes.
We can't control anyone else, including our counselors with these complaints. Reality therapy emphasizes what clients can do to help themselves and to improve the present relationship that is the problem. And I'm not, for those of you who are just joining us, and you haven't done this before, I'm just reading excerpts from the book. I'm not reading the entire book, okay? That would take forever.
Yeah.
And we might get into copyright problems.
Yeah.
Then the next thing I have highlighted is this is the way to live through a conflict. Don't focus on the conflict. Focus on something possible that isn't part of the conflict, that will give her time and maybe some hope. It's about the only way a conflict can be successfully resolved. Things change, and in time, most conflicts get diluted and forgotten. That's one of the things they teach us as a ministry leader in Celebrate Recovery and conflict resolution is we'll take that up at the monthly leadership meeting. And by the time the monthly leadership meeting rolls around, everybody's forgot about the problem. And so it's never brought up.
Yeah.
So,
it's usually resolved by that time.
And it's resolved by that time. I feel like I'm leaning toward pizza. Okay, maybe we'll get more clicks that way because maybe we should just tilt it all the way or something.
It goes sideways.
Yeah. Anyway, so after you made love, did he say, "My God, my goodness"? Well, he uses a profanity.
I know. I see.
My goodness, Francesca, you really love me. Tell me, what do you want? I don't know if I can give you what you want, but tell me, maybe I can do something. No one has ever asked me what I want. No one ever. And so that's one of the things that you can do is you can ask the person, tell me what do you want? I don't know if I can give it to you what you want, but please tell me, maybe I can do something. And so, because then they'll be able to tell you what's in their quality world, and maybe you can get in their quality world by doing that. And so, this is in a relationship, like a husband and wife.
Yes. We're not telling them boyfriend and girlfriend.
Or you're not the counselor asking the client.
Right.
Or the client asking the counselor. But anyway. Then the last thing in this chapter that I have highlighted, and so we'll get through this chapter pretty quickly. It is also crucial to teach clients that life is not fair.
We talked about that today.
We did?
Yeah, with Billy. Life is not fair. Remember, she said about
it wasn't fair that they
killed the concubine.
Bethlehem. Yeah. The men of Bethlehem killed the concubine. Yeah.
Remember, she was saying, and I told her life is not fair.
No, there's nothing
fair. It's never fair about it. No.
But on the other hand, it's better than we deserve.
That's right. We don't deserve anything.
So what's the fairness? You have to actually take that in consideration.
Yeah, you do.
We actually deserve that not to happen to us. No, we are bad enough that we deserve something bad happen to us all the time, and that's the problem. Rags. I pointed that out I point that out on the Wakecast all the time. My problem is getting people pew sitters to realize that how bad they are. Our evilness is, you may look at that incident in Judges 19, where that the city kills them, or you may look at Sodom and Gomorrah, but the wickedness of our hearts are no different than
True.
that. Our evilness, we have the wicked imagination to do that, and if we think about doing stuff like that, then you look at Matthew chapter 5, it says, if you are angry with somebody, then you have murder in your heart. If you so we have that capability within us. You may say, I would never do something like that. Well, by the grace of God, you haven't done anything
Right.
like that. But that's one of the things that me and Tommy Cates used to always tell those guys in the jail. Is by the grace of God, we aren't in here.
Right.
We've done, or at least thought about doing the things that you've done. I mean, you may think, you may be sitting there, oh, Tony, you're that bad a person. Well, you are too.
We all are.
We all have, in our heads, thought about doing things that these guys are in prison for. And if you don't believe me, well, if you've ever been angry with somebody, then you are, guilty of murder. Well, you're not guilty of murder, but you have the capability there, if you allowed that anger to continue to fester and to become murder.
Well, it says we all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. So
right,
that's Bible.
So it's hard to get people to realize the evilness that we are without Jesus.
Without Jesus.
The only goodness in us is because of Jesus.
That's it.
Go over and listen to my Matthew chapter 6 last night.
That was Romans.
Romans chapter 6. Yes, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
That in the real world, some people give more to relationship than do others. If counseling is successful, the client will have worked to improve old relationships or create better new ones. To be happy, we all need a few good, close relationships. Our genes demand that we work on them all our lives. And so that's why Celebrate Recovery is important.
Yes.
We teach you how to find, sponsors and accountability partners. We have small groups that, where healthy people live, or that you can replace them with your toxic relationships that you have in your life.
Yep, we've all had those.
So, chapter 7, creativity.
She wants in your lap.
I know she wants in my lap, but I'm reading.
Yep.
Here, read with me, Katie. See, read this for me. This destructive captivity is most often seen when we want good relationships and are not able to get them.
Yeah.
This destructive creativity is most often seen when we want good relationships and are not able to get them. So what we want to do is you have to, in Celebrate Recovery, we teach that you have to go out and they're not going to fall in your lap. Good relationships. You have to seek out good relationships.
That's right.
Just like you would if you're looking for somebody to date or marry.
Right.
You have to seek out good friends and ask them, would you be my friend? Or maybe if you don't want to make it so awkward, you just ask them out for a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Take them to what's that favorite
place?
First Watch.
That's our girlfriend's
Rhonda takes everybody to First Watch.
Hi, Donette.
Donette and
Marilyn
and Rob's wife
Lori. Yeah.
And you've developed a lot of good friends.
Yes, I have.
Since you've been going to Celebrate.
I have, absolutely.
Not to say any of them go to Celebrate Recovery.
No, and some of them don't. So there you go.
While we cannot reject the feeling, we have no direct control over how we feel. We can try with counseling or without it to improve the relationships we have or find more satisfying new ones. The next section in this chapter is psychosomatic disease, the dark side of creativity. Have you ever, are you familiar with psychosomatic illnesses? I guess not. Okay.
No.
Psychosomatic illnesses are things like hypertension. They are
Fibro.
what's what?
Fibro.
Fibromyalgia.
Mm-hmm. Fibromyalgia.
Fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue. What's the arthritis eat your joints?
Osteoarthritis.
Osteoarthritis. There's a whole host of things that are psychosomatic illnesses. Allergies probably are.
Oh yeah.
A lot.
You know that with mom.
A lot of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. And well, from myself.
Yeah.
I used to think I could. I thought it was weird. I could make myself sick if I thought hard enough. For some reason, I could make myself sick because I wanted to stay home and watch Disney.
Yep.
By the time we came in from church, I'd lay her down on the couch, and by the time we had to go to church that night, I was sick. Because I wanted to watch Disney.
Listen, Chad can give himself a fever at school. And then when I'd pick him up, he'd say, "Where we going to go eat at?" I was like, "You ain't even sick, you little turkey."
Right. They cannot risk angering or even depressing because doing so might impair their ability to keep up their side of the relationship and maybe lose it. And so, let's see. A deal with it, leave it out or not. So, but you have seen what the thing is a lot of times where you're in a relationship where you're being controlled by your spouse, you will develop a psychosomatic illness in order to gain control back. You know.
Oh, that makes sense.
You know, like if you hobble along or something like that, then it gives you control in some aspects in the relationship.
Well, today I was hobbling, but I wasn't trying to control you. My left hip
everybody's
was out.
hobbling today.
Everybody's hobbling.
Of course, that's arthritis, so I don't know if that's psychosomatic. But that's one of the things is if you just tell yourself, there's nothing wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with me. And a lot of people will. I've seen a lot of people say, "Well, I'm going to try. I'm going to put down this cane, and I'm going to walk." And then they start being able to walk fine.
Yeah.
It's whenever we start depending on things that we don't need, like that. Sometimes we set ourselves up for failure.
Yeah.
I think a lot of psychosomatic illnesses are real, but caused
100%.
by stress. Yes. And so the doctor spoke in. Thank you, Dr. Sissy.
Was it Sissy? What'd she say?
I read it to you. I think a lot of psychosomatic illnesses are real, but caused by stress. Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that was Sissy.
Right. I mean, once that your rheumatoid arthritis starts eating your joints, it's real.
It's
real.
You
don't have joints, but it's brought on by stress.
Yeah.
Because you have stress in your life. It is the cause of a lot of these. Yes. And so you might get to the point where that you can't reverse it. But if you're in the early stages of it, by going on or taking control of your thinking and your mind, that's one of the things I was thinking tonight. If we could, have you ever noticed that you get distracted from pain whenever you're excited about something?
Yes.
If you get excited about a project or doing something, it's lots of times when we're sitting around the house moping and we're depressing, then we allow these psychosomatic illnesses to take over and come on. And I think that's what we see a lot in these healing movements that we see in churches is people, they have a positive then, when they go to a healing service and they're healed, they then take on this positive attitude about the psychosomatic illness, and then it goes away.
Yeah, it does.
And so it's a lot about you're controlling your thoughts and being able to have good positive thoughts and replacing those
And
negative thoughts
you
by good ones.
put your
Of course,
positive.
I'm not the one to preach this.
No, but you listen. No, but you put your positive thoughts on God. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You concentrate on Him instead of what's your problem, or poor me, and
Well,
then more than likely it's going to get better.
Well, as Sheila brought out, when we tonight when we pray, they discovered that
The brain.
there's a different part of the brain that is
Yes.
used than others, and so it can create things that were not.
It's a lady,
realized.
lady that is in our Bible study, and she had a lot of good things to say.
And Dr. Jordan Peterson talks about this, that we shouldn't say that somebody is in remission for cancer, that we should say they're cured of cancer. The worst thing that they can do is put in the mind of a cancer survivor that it might come back.
Right.
Because then it will come back because because of the way the brain works, it could allow that to happen.
Yeah, and they said that they did an MRI on people's brains and saw the activity that went on.
What he was saying though is that the power of positive thinking. I don't prescribe totally to positive thinking, but the power of positive thinking actually helps prevent you from, does a lot of good things in preventing you from the cancer coming back.
Right.
So post-traumatic stress disorder. PSTD is another frequent diagnosis in the external control world, where it is common for people to think, I am the victim of something external over which I have no control. After a painful or an unexpected injury, accident, or exposure to a frightening situation, the person involved are so traumatized they cannot cope and need counseling to deal with what happened. But what he's it may say it's there, but one of the things is that then you have some people go through the same trauma and they're not affected. And so it has a lot to do with the way that you view the situation.
Right.
Because you're feeling helpless and a victim. That was one of the things that one of my counselors said, is every time I touched the doorknob, she wanted me to say, you are a survivor. And so I learned to say that I was a survivor rather than saying I was a victim. We play this victim mentality in the world today, and that's probably destroying a whole generation where they need to be telling themselves they're survivors and be healing from these things, instead of dealing with them with the victim mentality.
Right.
Oh, I really like this page. Almost the whole thing.
Oh wow! That's the whole page. He's reading the whole page.
Except for, I might as well. There's like 3 sentences on the page that aren't highlighted.
Just read it.
No, I'm just going to read the highlighted.
Oh,
section.
okay.
All this may be well intended, and the victim did indeed suffer, but it may also convince some of them to choose to perpetuate their suffering. So the more you dwell on it, oh, I'm a victim, this awful thing happened to me, and that's all you think about, then the worse that you are, because one of the things about PSTD I've learned is you don't talk about it. You kind of, I was in a car wreck in July the 25th, 2001 with a semi truck. That, I stopped right there. Put on the brakes, stop. I don't think anymore about that accident, or else I'm going to have anger issues. I'm gonna do a lot of bad things. Because as a result of the PSTD, but thinking about it, dwelling on it, it just keeps me worked up, and I'm in a state of post-traumatic stress. When it comes to my childhood rape, that's about all I'm going to tell you about.
Right.
I might tell you that it was my youth minister, but other than that, I'm not going to tell you the details. and because the more I dwell on it, that's one of the things. It's kind of like forgiveness. You know, Jesus said that he cast our when he forgives us, he casts it into the depths of the ocean. It
From
says,
far as the
far
east is
from
the west.
the west. And,
Never to be remembered
and,
against
yeah.
you again.
And so if God's not going to remember it again, why should we bring it back up? And God, I did this horrible thing. You're never going to forgive me for it. Well, that's you can't dwell on things. You've got to move on and with your life. And I believe I stated this one time, and somebody was like, "What?" And they crosstalked during my lesson on forgiveness is to bring up our past sins, unless you're doing it in a testimonial
Right.
where God can get glory and honor from it.
Right.
I believe it's sin. Because you're recommitting the sin over again in a way in your mind. You're bringing it back.
Actually, how I look at it too, yes, that's right, is God's probably saying, Tony, I don't know what you're talking about.
Right, exactly.
He doesn't remember. He cast it into the sea of forgetfulness. So, to me, thank God that he does not bring that forth to us again. Even if we mention it.
Maybe that's a problem. People have God complexes.
They probably
can't
do.
remember.
Yeah, probably do.
What is wrong with the assumption? Their sins when they can't remember.
Yeah,
their sins.
I knew what you meant.
What is wrong with this assumption and the subsequent diagnosis of PSTD is that thousands of people who are exposed to huge amounts of trauma gather themselves together and deal with it. They do so because they have good relationships and a belief they are doing something worthwhile with their lives, that they want to get back to doing it. And so that's what we're teaching is Celebrate Recovery. You surround yourself in a small group with a sponsor and accountability partners, good healthy people.
Forever family.
And then your forever family, and then you're giving back is step 12. And so that's what they're doing. So they recover, they bounce back automatically because of that. People who suffer so much disability after a trauma that they can't go on with their lives do not usually have strong relationships and may not be doing anything they consider worthwhile in their lives. They just isolate. They depress. They become hermits and don't trust people. You've seen these people, and they're miserable the rest of their lives. For these people, uninjured physically, the choice is to disable themselves after a trauma is widely supported by the common sense that we are all controlled from the outside and provides a good excuse for people who are not coping to escape from their own inadequacies. The possibility of insurance settlements helps them believe they have been disabled. In other words, I don't know if you ever went through that, but by rehearsing it over and over again, you've got to tell the adjuster, and then you got to tell the attorney, and then you got to go to court and tell the story all over again. So you're just keeping yourself disabled and tore up and miserable. So you're better off just going on, but it's probably not worth the money that you get out of the
probably not. No.
But the more we teach people that they can deal with what happens to them, the better off we all will be. I help them to make better choices and better relationships and teach them some choice theory. In almost all instances, they are very pleased with the therapy and are willing to give up the symptoms or beliefs when they find better ways to take control of their lives. Remember I said the symptoms and the beliefs are a way of taking control. So when you show them there's other ways of taking control of their life, they can do they can go out and help somebody, or they can, they can, get a job, or they can have a project that takes their mind off of it. Then they can do that. It is no kindness to treat unhappy people as helpless. hopeless and inadequate, no matter what has happened to them. Kindness is having faith in the truth and that people can handle it and use it for their benefit. True compassion is helping people help themselves.
Yeah.
Is that the word that was used?
People help themselves.
Kindness.
Oh, kindness. Yeah.
Yes, kindness was the word that was used. Hint. So, yeah, so I'm going to have to, that might be my, I have a personal note that I'm reading, sorry.
Is it, I can't see it. Is it able to be read?
Probably not because it's personal.
Okay.
One of the things is some people want other people to make them happy. That's the choice. They think that it is a person or a thing that will make them happy, but they can't. A person or a thing isn't going to make you happy. You can only control your own happiness. Your choices control your happiness, and if you're going to be happy, and so you have to make the right choices. And sometimes these, you could think of. I can read this part. Like Kirk Cameron and Tim McGraw are faithful to their wives. That was somebody's quality world. How that Kirk Cameron, how he is. That's one of the things I tell Rhonda. That the Hallmark Channel is women porn.
I know, I don't call it porn.
because
women
because
porn.
it basically makes, or soap operas make women unhappy with their husbands. It creates a quality world in their mind, and why can't you be like him? And so you have to be careful to realize that, well, this quality person that I have in my mind, it isn't this person's never going to live up to this quality person in my mind.
No, ever.
And so, and we see that even worse in people who, like widows and widowers. You have to kind of, if you marry a widow or a widower, you kind of have to put yourself realizing you're going to be second place
for the rest
of your life.
Yeah.
Because they're going to see that person as being perfect. Same way with, somebody who is adopted or something like that.
Right.
They're always going to believe that the original parents, unless they really know the details about them, if they know nothing about them, they're going to have a quality ideal about them
that's not real.
That's perfect, and that they may even I don't know if they trained you this in whenever that you went in for foster parenting, that probably maybe those kids will think that their parents were perfect.
Absolutely.
And they'll say, well, my parent did,
yes,
would have never done that. They would have loved me and gave me this toy,
right?
Or whatever.
I'm sure that happened a lot.
Throw it up to you, So you have to keep that in mind. To you, what were the good times that you were happy as well? To ask somebody, what were that's dealing with depressing, they're blaming you that they're not happy. You can ask them, well, when was, give me some examples of the good times whenever that you were happy. What are the happy times in your life? And concentrate on those. That's really one of the things that really helps marriages, is to go back and reminisce. Talk about the times that you had a good time. Oh my goodness.
That's so sweet.
We just say Knoxville, but the pool in Knoxville.
The pool in Knoxville. We had a great time.
On the 4th of July.
4th of July, 2020.
$40 a night.
$40. For the cheapest hotel and the nicest pool.
You know, and so you reminisce about
Oh,
things like that,
yeah.
and think about the good things instead of get the couple to thinking about the good times they had,
Yeah.
rather than how bad it is right now.
Yeah.
And really, you know, they don't realize that what the bad things that it is right now aren't really as it may not be. I mean, if they're being abused,
May
that's a
not be.
whole
Yeah,
different
that's
thing.
different.
But by and large, you know, if he's putting the toilet paper on wrong, I mean that amounts to a hill of beans compared to you know to the good things that you've experienced together.
He puts it on wrong, I just change it. He goes under, I go over.
Go wee, roll it all out on the floor because it's on the wrong way. Okay, wee. And she has to buy a case of toilet paper every week. You know. I mean,
If Bailey was on here,
it's her choice.
Oh my goodness, that's too
But
funny.
anyway, it's just that's what we hopefully you'll learn tonight is you think about the positive. You know, that's one of the things I have this thing I'm working on, and it came to me. You know, you just have a gratitude list. You got to make a gratitude list, and you know that's one of the things we teach in Celebrate Recovery is you make a gratitude list and go over it daily.
Absolutely.
You know, I don't because it's not on the mirror, but it's where I should look at it every day and go over it every day. But
I see yours.
I know, but it needs updated.
It does.
It's got on it that I'm glad that my dad is healthy and able to take care of himself.
Well, he is healthy now. He's in heaven, like mine.
True.
They're sitting there talking.
He's leaping on the hills of Nod.
Yes. And with my dad too, talking to him. They loved each other.
All right. But, so with that, that concludes this one. We are actually going into another section.
What's it gonna be?
Tomorrow night is the practice.
The practice.
Wasn't that like a show on TV?
Yes, it was.
Love and marriage.
Love and marriage goes together.
Like a baby and a carriage. Something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Love and marriage goes together like a baby carriage. I don't know. I'm just making it up.
You don't remember that show?
Yes, I do. I do remember that show.
We shouldn't admit that we watched
that
show.
We're that old.
No, that we watched that show.
Oh, yeah.
My roommate in college forced me to watch it every night at 11:30. Well, maybe it's 11. After it went off on Fox was the dating game or something like that.
Yes, I remember
every night. He forced me to watch both of those.
The dating game.
Oh, a horse and carriage.
A horse and carriage. Thank you, Sissy. Goes together like a horse and carriage.
Yeah, she never saw the show, but she knows the
Love
song.
and marriage. That's funny.
Well, we love you, Sissy. But
love you so much.
So
Sissy.
with that, we encourage you to give us a thumbs up. I guess maybe Sissy gave us the like tonight. Follow her example.
Thank you, Sissy.
Follow Sissy's example by making comments and asking questions. If you ask a good enough question, we'll take it up on the next Waycast.
Yep.
Subscribe, not only here, but on
Who's Ready to Rumble?
On Rumble.
Yeah.
In case I'm getting ready to upload last night's sermon onto Rumble, so I'm keeping it up to date. So if we lose YouTube, we won't miss a beat. We'll just go live
Keep
on
on
Rumble.
going. And the Waycast, all one word on Rumble or Tony Ball.
Right.
Yes.
Share. There is the Against All Odds Waycast that I've pinned to the top of the channel. I encourage you to share that, to share the channel. It's a great evangelistic tool. You'll be getting out the word that way. And then hit the ding-a-ling in your life.
Ding, ding, ding. Notification bell. Ding, ding, ding. No, just so that you'll be notified when we come on live.
So that you can come on and harass us in person.
Please do.
And so with that,
we say...
Oh, I gotta turn it up.
Adios, au revoir, I'll leave you say till then.
And though it's always sweet sorrow,
again. Adios, au revoir, arrivederci. Good night.
We love you.
And don't ever forget, you are truly loved. Love you, Sissy.
Love you,
Bye.
Sissy.
Fans
Annabelle
say
says
have our
bye.
show hit songs and